Lainie fumed and stared straight ahead, expecting the man's laughter at her plight. If she wasn't so angry, she'd laugh herself. She'd done it this time. She was stranded in the middle of nowhere, without a job or a place to sleep. Now she bounced around the cab of a military truck with a strange soldier. Her mother would be horrified. Tall outcroppings of white rock pushed through the sandhills to the north of the highway. Their ragged edges showed the centuries of rain that had molded and formed them. The formations were unlike anything she'd seen.
"What do you think of the buttes?"
"Is that what you call them? Lovely." She turned and stared at the man. "That it? Your best attempt at conversation? Asking what I think of the scenery?"
"Other than continuing to mention you're a fool to come without a plan, I thought the view was safer."
Lainie snorted. "You don't understand women, do you?" Color crept up his neck in a way that would have been endearing if she wasn't so annoyed.
"Women overrun the fort. Wait until you see the hordes."
"All the more reason for me to come."
"Sure, and in 2 weeks you'll be married and unwilling to work."
"You are insufferable." She jostled against the door, her backside connecting with the firm bench. "Ouch!" She resisted the urge to rub the ache away. The landscape flattened as they barreled down the road. A row of buttes pushed up the earth at an angle from U.S. Route 20, which laced the plain. Prairie grasses grew with trees scattered along the ridges, but the majority of the landscape was wide open. Barren, like her heart. Shattered like her dreams of joining the war effort. Lainie clenched her teeth and vowed she would talk her way into a job at the fort.
"Look, I'm sorry we got off on the wrong foot."
The private whipped his cap off with one hand and rubbed his forehead.
"You have every right to be here. So why did you come? You don't seem like the type to run up here without the semblance of a reason."
"Thanks, I think." Lainie smoothed her skirt, and her fingers played with the navy worsted wool fabric, twisting and untwisting it. She eyed him. Was his apology honest? She sucked in a breath and decided to treat it as such. "My mother read an article in the North Platte Bulletin about the push for civilians to free enlisted men to ship overseas. I can help."
"Why not stay in North Platte, or wherever you're from?"
"I had other plans that didn't work out, and this is far enough away from home to keep my folks from hovering."
"What can you do?"
"I'm trained as a nurse, but need something less strenuous. I'll take clerical work." South of the highway, row after row of narrow wooden buildings lined a road. It looked like a hastily constructed camp or barracks. "Is that part of the fort?"
"That? No, it's a prisoner of war camp. Construction's well underway, and the first prisoners should arrive in this fall."
Lainie hadn't expected to see such evidence of the war this close to home. Soldiers, at least she assumed they were soldiers in their jeans, walked between the buildings, but none looked at the truck. What were they doing if they didn't have prisoners to guard? She pushed a piece of hair behind her ear as she turned her attention back toward the highway. "How long have you been stationed here?"
Private Hamilton shrugged. "Since I enlisted, I thought I could help with the horses and signed up here 12 months ago. However, the Army, in its wisdom, decided I'd work with war dogs. So here I am, a private specialist who works with canines all day."
His fingers tapped against the large steering wheel.
"I'm hoping to ship overseas soon."
"Where are you from, soldier? You don't sound like a native Nebraskan." Lainie smiled as the routine questions she'd used at the North Platte canteen flowed.
"A little bit of here and there, but mostly Wyoming."
The truck crested a slight hill.
"Here we are."
Lainie gaped as the fort spread before her, filling both sides of the road with activity.